Is that real? Like what you're saying is
100%. 100%. And you find today that women are divorcing like there's no tomorrow. A lot of women are unhappy because of the difference between what they're being conditioned to expect from marriage.
with what you're saying, it's the expectation versus reality.
Social media, by the way, is a tool of shaitan.
With the rise of modern challenges, from the influence of Western ideologies to the increasing pressures of social media, are Muslim marriages more at risk today than ever before? What would you say to those people who are afraid of getting married?
They're going to regret it because so much insecurity has been disseminated into them through social media.
Welcome back to another episode of Side by Side. I'm your host, Kazi Shafiqur Rahman. Our guest today is Gabriel Al Romaani. In this episode, we'll explore the complexities of marriage, the pressures of modern society, and how we can stay true to our faith while addressing these challenges.
But I also understand that there are limits to what we can learn.
What are those limits? Assalamu alaikum, brother Gabriel.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you for coming in. And I tried to read your name. Is it Romani or Romani?
Al Romaani, yes.
So where does it come from?
Originally from Romania, so it becomes like a kunya, I guess. Or
Okay.
just a nickname.
Is that where your heritage is from?
I'm Romania.
Okay.
Yeah,
MashaAllah. So Al Romaani, Gabriel Al Romaani.
that's right.
Thank you for making the time for us.
Allah life.
Before we begin, I mean, I've done my own research. Why don't you give us a lowdown on what you do?
Okay. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. So I am a positive Islamic psychology counselor. Been doing this for about 20 years almost, since I reverted to Islam in 2003 at the age of 20. And alhamdulillah, my background is in psychology, neuroscience and cognition, as well as Islamic studies and also education. I've worked for many years as a school principal and traveled to more than 40 countries, I guess. And yeah, alhamdulillah, basically I work on men's mental health, on men's personal development. I counsel men and women in the ummah, try to help them with real solutions to real problems, I guess, problems of the 21st century, things that a lot of people don't like to talk about. I'll take it on, inshallah.
Amazing. Your accent, where does that come from?
So I moved from Romania to Canada,
Okay.
from Canada to the Khalij, from the Khalij to Malaysia, and now kind of like in the airport in between places.
So you travel a lot.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Now, why specifically that topic or that aspect of helping Muslim, generally men, improve their mental health or I guess their masculinity, if that's the word?
Right. Well, usually when a person is into a specific niche in his life, in general, you will find that there's a story behind it. There's a personal story. A small percentage might be like, look, this was just the way I started work or whatever. I went to uni and I did something. It's just my job, right? But I think for most people who are in a career or a specific niche, you'll find them that they were brought there, of course, first and foremost by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but that there's a story behind it. There's a connection there, right? So I think my father left when I was 13. So I kind of grew up without a father at a very sensitive age. At that time, I also moved to Canada from Romania. And I've had to become a man forcefully. It was forced. There was just no choice. Right? It was myself and my mom. My brother as well. He was older than me. He passed away at the age of 39 from a heart failure as a non-Muslim, even though I tried really hard with him. He took a lot of steroids and he was trying to be buff. And actually, his heart failed. From a very small infection. But so my mom, him and I were together alone. Then he left and got involved in gangs and all that in Canada. And then I had to be the man of the house. I had to start working. And as I advanced in life, I had the choice of either taking his path or taking a path of hard work. There's the easy path, drug dealing, selling, transporting, or just working hard. So I chose the path of working hard. I think, well, actually, Allah chose it for me, no doubt about it. He prepared me for it. And I just realized that all of a sudden, well, now you're paying bills, you're making money, you're serious, people are coming for advice for you within your family, and you find yourself that, well, wait a second, where did my teenage years go? Where did my childhood go? Everything disappeared. I'm a man, right? So alhamdulillah, that's kind of how it started, yeah, no doubt. And then it culminated obviously with me embracing Islam at the age of 20, my first year of uni. And then from there on, just basically, I got sucked in at the university level. It started with giving khutbahs, right? Someone's like, oh, you're a new Muslim. Why don't you give the khutbah? you're white. People are going to listen to you. I was like,
oh my God.
Okay. What should I say? They're like, look, we have a lot of problems here. There's a lot of international students. They're away from home. They're suffering from depression and culture shock. So you can talk to them. So I was blessed because as soon as I embraced Islam, within a few months, there was a sheikh from Egypt who was studying in our university. He was doing his PhD. And from Al-Azhar, right?
Amazing.
And he was doing his PhD in engineering. And he saw me in the musalla and he said, come, we're going to have a halaqah. So he took us with traditional studies under his wing from you're talking about the first few months, right? Which a lot of new Muslims don't have that opportunity. Right? A lot of new Muslims spend the first few years kind of trying to figure things out, navigating between different jamaats and different things. So that was a big blessing. So the MSA said, you do the khutbah. I went to the sheikh and I said, what do I do? He said, okay, do this, and just know the faraid and just read Al-Fatiha and Qul Wallahu Ahad. Right, that's it. I was like, okay. And he's like, give a powerful speech. So as soon as I started giving those speeches, I found that people would come to me after the khutbah. Brother, I have a problem. Because I was just ripping it, like, brother's this, brother's that, this is the problem here. Look at what these guys are doing. There's dating, there's problems. People are away from their home. You guys are coming from Pakistan, from Bangladesh. You guys have a Muslim country. You should be proud of your heritage. All these. So people are like, oh man, it connects to us. This resonates with us. Brother, I have a problem. Brother, I'm dating a girl. Brother, this girl left me. Brother, I'm suffering. Brother, I committed zina. Brother, I'm cutting myself. Brother, I'm taking drugs. Brother, I want to commit suicide. All kinds of issues. Brother, I want to get married. Brother, there's all these problems. Eh? So then it just started from there. And then I guess the word came out, and then the local masjid there hired me as a social work coordinator. So then, yeah, my career started very early.
So life effectively pulled you towards a certain direction, and you didn't pull back.
If I could tell you that I planned it, I'm lying, I just got
So you just went with the flow?
I just went with the flow.
Wow,
I wanted to be a doctor.
Wow.
I wanted to be a medical doctor first. I was studying, doing my MCATs and all that. So that was my original plan, but وَمَكَرُ وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ.
Do you find yourself to be quite curious? Are you a curious person generally?
I think I am quite inquisitive. I don't know if curious.
What's the difference between inquisitive and
I think inquisitiveness is an educated curiosity.
Okay.
While curious, you're just you're just kind of all over the place, right? But I'm inquisitive. I like to learn, to understand. But I also understand that there are limits to what we can learn. And Islam brought that reality into my life, that there are some fine limits that humanity will reach. And that is part of reason and rationale to understand that. And because humanity doesn't know the limits, one of the reasons why we're in the problems that we are today is that, actually.
What are those limits?
Well, the limits are set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And humanity needs to understand that. While the fitrah of the human being is to be inquisitive or curious, Allah has set limits. So Allah gives you something, but then He says, stop here. For example, Allah put Adam and Eve in the garden, right? Then He says, don't come close to that tree. If Allah would have not said that tree, they would have probably not even noticed the tree, bro. Right? What made the tree so attractive was the fact that Allah said, don't go there. If Allah didn't say don't go there, probably they would not even gone to it. Right? But when Allah set some limits, this is when you understand the test of life. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. So that Allah will test you, which one of you is the best in deeds. So those are the limits. For example, Allah tells women, cover, put hijab on. But women like to be beautiful, to show off, to be validated, and as you can see everywhere, right? Social media, fashion. So Allah created women with beauty. Cannot deny that, right? زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ, the first thing. But then Allah says, cover it. See, it's deep, right?
Yeah.
So these are the limits that Allah says, the hudud.
So I have this dilemma, right? And I always think there are, and I guess that's not for me to say because I don't want to offend anyone. But there are sisters who are very religious in one aspect. They're praying and, they're doing everything. But when it comes to the covering aspect, it's a matter between me and my Lord. And, it's...
Right.
How do you, make sense of that?
Well, it's probably one of the greatest fitna for a woman today is herself. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the greatest fitna for men is women, when we look at it, actually, probably the greatest fitna for women is also women, they themselves, right? Because they have in their nature this need to be seen, to be validated. They have this test of life, this paradox, right? So praying, if you look at it, it's not so difficult, actually. It's 5 times a day, 5 minutes. For a woman specifically, she can pray at home. Actually, it's more rewarding to pray at home. So it's 5 minutes per prayer times 5 times a day. It's 25 minutes out of 24 hours. So it means 23 hours and 35 minutes is for you and 25 minutes for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So prayer is not that difficult, actually, if you think about it. But still, we're having a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's a difficulty still, right? Then other things, and zakah, if you have the nisab, the money, you will pay it. Hajj, if you can, actually, you will go. There's a lot of things that are relative to what you can do. But when it comes to this fitna, this is the real test for a woman, I would say. Right? This is the real test for women. So, yes, you can pray, you can do this and this, but when it comes to that, the things that you care about the most, and women care about how they look, right? Women just really, really care about how they look. They're very, and I would say even more so today, and probably that's what leads them to show off a bit more. It's because so much insecurity has been inseminated into them through social media, through the changing trends. So women are always checking. They're always validating, checking, comparing. Women probably check out women more than men check out women. No joke. You can talk. Women will say that, right? Because they always want to make sure. Oh, she's more pretty than me. Oh, why this? Oh, why that? New trend comes out, right? All the women will. It's in their nature. I was on the train the other day, going towards Wembley, and there was a Taylor Swift concert. Okay, that was coming up. I'm not kidding you, but the whole train was dressed and looked like that, right? It was insane to see, okay, and to the brothers, take it easy, bro, you couldn't avoid it, right? Like, brother, why are you looking at the women? Bro, you couldn't avoid it. They're all dressed the same. You could see that there's something. So I just looked it up. I said, what concert is happening in Wembley? Boom, it was Taylor Swift. Because they all look like that. You'll never see brothers, full train, bro, looking like, I don't know which dude, that will come and do a concert like, whatever.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran doing your hair like that or something like that.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm talking about black, white, brown, Chinese, whoever, Asian, they all look like that. Women follow trends. Women, it's in their nature. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is your fitna? Stop. Obey me. Cover. Protect yourself. You do this? Jannah. Jannah is easy for a woman, yet hard. It's very difficult.
SubhanAllah. And I guess, as you said, certain things are more important to them than us men, and they take it very seriously.
They do. Man.
And they end up justifying things that they want to do that they shouldn't do through other logics.
Yeah, logic and emotions.
Yeah.
Today, just recently, I was talking to someone, and the outcome of the discussion was that Islam today, in general, is based on or validated or justified by how women feel, right? It's like, you don't say anymore whether the hadith is authentic or not, is how you feel about that hadith. Okay? That's kind of what you see, right?
Yeah.
And that's why Islam is submission. Islam is taslim, It comes from submission, not peace. The peace comes out of that submission. People have this false notion of say Islam is peace. No, it's actually that internal spiritual peace you'll gain once you've done the submission, once you've eliminated all these, I want to look pretty. It's inner fitra. You cannot change that. A lot of people think that, okay, you can change a woman. Well, the Prophet said, the more you straighten it, it will break. Okay? If you leave it the way it is, it's going to be curved, right? So that hadith is probably I would say is like the best manifesto for explaining female psychology. It just perfectly explains the depths of and complexities of female psychology.
Do women need to be guided? I mean, what you said, some women might say, oh, what do you mean? Like, why do you need to change us and this and that? Do they need guidance from men?
100%. And the evidence for that is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only sent men prophets and messengers, not one woman.
Interesting.
In thousands and thousands of years, not one woman has been sent as a prophet or a messenger. It's always been men. Okay, there are a few of the ulama who have mentioned maybe Maryam alayhi salam was a prophetess, but that's easily refuted. Okay, because they refer to a specific word that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired her, this and that. But Allah also inspired the bee in Surah Nahl. Okay, never has there been a female prophet or messenger. Not just that, to add more, in 1446 years, we're now 1446 Hijri, right? We are in Safar, right? 14th or 15th of Safar today. There's never been a female Khalifa, bro. Ever. So this clearly, at least one would have been there. 2, 3 maybe. Never. And now women be like, oh my God, this is so misogynistic.
Yeah.
You need to understand the hikmah behind it. When it comes with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you cannot put your brain above revelation. Okay? Cannot be aql qabla al-naql. Okay, the revelation comes first. You submit your aql to the revelation. There's a reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed and sent male messengers. Okay? Even when Allah says in the Quran about the angels, why do they not send an angel? Right? The Quraysh and the Kuffar used to say. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if he would have sent an angel, it would have been in the shape of a man, rajul, the word is used, rajul, walking and dressed like them and walking amongst them. It would have not been flying around with wings and so on, so that people can see. It's always been man, my brother. People like it or not, it is what it is. Okay? So yes, women do need the guidance of men, 100%. They need the help of men. They need the restrictions of men. And this is something positive. It's not something that, oh, he's controlling me. Oh, no. It's not a abusive guidance. It's a positive guidance. It's a guidance that leads you towards the correct path. Of course, the right man, the correct man, not waste man or bad man. There's a lot of waste man and bad man, no doubt. We're talking about people who follow as well as they can. No one is perfect. Follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
What do you think is the biggest? I mean, what do you think is the biggest fear? What's your biggest fear about Muslim marriages today, or in the future?
I think my biggest fear is that people are not getting married anymore, and our ummah is looking for other avenues. So the halal is becoming very difficult. When I speak. And again, I'm not trying to sound like I know everything. Of course, and it's only by Allah's blessing, whatever we know. But I only try to go based on either studies or evidence or trends within what I see within my clients. So if you think about it, like pretty much 20 years of experience, almost every day, 4 clients per day around there, because it's quite difficult. That's a lot of people that it's a good sample population to make some conclusions from. And people are afraid of marriage. They're delaying marriage. They are avoiding marriage. I got brothers 35 years old, 37 years old. They've never been married, bro. The question that comes in, I know people get sensitive when it comes to these topics, but the reality is, though, what are you doing at 37 and not being married? Not just that, what have you done from the time you reach puberty, where your body is screaming, I need intimacy? Your hormones, your fitra is literally your body screaming, I need intimacy. So what are you doing from the age of 12, 11 till 37, bro? That is 25 years. Every single day, living in the West, walking outside in the heat, seeing what you're seeing. Don't tell me, brother, I didn't see anything. It's rubbish. Even the Prophet ﷺ in Sahih Muslim, it is reported that he walked on the street and he saw a very attractive woman. And he felt it. And he literally rushed to Zainab radiallahu anha, his wife, and had intimacy with her. It's authentic hadith. And he said the shaitan will throw these poison arrows. Wow. When you have that, he said, go to your wives and take your desire on your wife. Now imagine how many arrows, like in the movies, you know, when they shoot like the clouds, how many arrows that shaitan shot at your average brother's heart, okay? And we know that men are indeed weaker when it comes to this, 100%, because we are visual. For a woman takes a bit of time. It's more longitudinal. For a man, it's vertical, meaning up and down. You're good to go on the spot, right? For the woman's longitude, it takes time for her to actually, you know, unless you're like the Chad, you know, that top 2% or something. But in general, for men it's difficult. So that's my fear. The fear is that people are not getting married. However, they are still satisfying their desires in different ways. Because a human being is just part of your innate DNA. You cannot escape it. You can fast as much as you want Monday and Thursday, bro. But then you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Even if you fast the other day, okay, Dawood alayhi salam, still, brother, you're still gonna be breaking your fast in Maghrib. You're still gonna be seeing things.
What do you think is their fear for not getting married?
Well, first of all, there is a lot of negative stories that are circling around. Oh, look at this guy, what he did, and this girl, and all men are bad, and then all women are bad. And you see a lot of podcasts right now. Everyone has a podcast, bro. Everyone's an expert in psychology. The red pill is there. They're really ripping it. The red pill is really encouraging men to forget about marriage, forget about women. Women are some kind of monsters. And then feminism, which has been around for a long time now, is telling women, you don't need a man. Red pill says you need a woman to use her and throw her. Feminism says you don't need a man at all. You can just be yourself, and that's it. So these two opposing views, one being a reaction of the other, are basically causing a lot of problems. And of course, social media is full of this, the gender wars. And women are looking like, oh, snap, you know. I heard Fatima, you know, down in South London, she got divorced within a week of marriage. Oh my God, I'm not getting married. I'm so scared, right? So there's this gamophobia, fear of marriage. It's an actual phobia. And the brothers say, oh, women are really, really bad, man, right? They cannot find a good woman. You know, the guy, my friend in France, he married this girl. And then on the night of marriage, he found out she's not a virgin. And oh my God, we're done now. I divorced her. Okay, you cannot trust women. So this fear, they see these videos. They see Andrew Tate online, right, talking like that and whatnot. And then people are like, man, you know, why would I compromise my life and get divorced? There's so many expectations culturally, right? You're looking at Arabs, Desis, Africans. There's a lot of cultural expectation when it comes to marriage. So people don't want to, it's not only about you divorcing, it's about like disappointing your whole family and tribe, man, right? So it's just, there's a lot at stake when it comes to marriage, so people are just super afraid.
What would you say to those people who are afraid of getting married?
What I would say is that the main fear is, what if this happens? What if I get divorced? What if? And I tell them, guess what? You're never going to know because you're not trying, okay? The parachute is never going to open, man, unless you jump from the plane. You have to do it. So what if you're afraid? Okay, so what if you're going to divorce? Well, the Prophet ﷺ had divorce. He divorced. Are you better than the Prophet ﷺ? Sahaba's divorce. Are you better than Sahaba? What's the fear? The fear is the most limiting factor in our lives. Actually, most people are not going to reach their full potential in life because of fear. And they're going to regret it. They're going to reach an age where they're going to have more wisdom. They're going to be more calm, not as much anxiety. They're going to look back at life and be like, oh man, I wish I would have done more. And that is documented as a research that one of the greatest regret at the end of people's lives. And they looked at people who are terminally ill on their deathbed. And they just said, those things that I didn't do, that's what I regret the most. The things that I couldn't do, I didn't do. I had all these plans, all these dreams, and fear stopped me. I didn't do it. That's the one thing.
When should brothers think about marriage? Because it's in our Desi culture, there's a framework. You know, certain people get married before certain people. Then generally the daughters get married and then the son or something. But things are changing so fast. I mean, there's so many different changes that we've witnessed in the last 10 years. So what would you tell the brothers? What should they be like? Well, when should they think about marriage? And can they do something to become more marriable?
Okay, so if you look at it, technically speaking, marriage is not something where like some bells are going to ring and you're like, okay, I'm ready, right? First of all, there's a physiological marker that says you're ready for marriage, which is once you've reached puberty. That's always been the case. Going back just maybe a couple of centuries, maybe even a few decades, our grandma, great-grandfather, they used to get married very early, okay? And you're talking about as early as teen years, 17, 18, they're already married. By 20, they might have had the child, 3 children. Now, the average person gets married around 30s. All right, so your body's already telling you that I'm ready for marriage. Okay, people say, oh, he's still a child. Maybe you're treating him as a child. Maybe he's acting like a child, but his body's not like a child. If a person is already thinking and their body is reacting to desire and intimacy, shahawat, then you're ready for marriage. Is that the only thing? No. No, there definitely has to be other qualifications. And one of them, as the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, that whoever has the means. So there has to be a financial element there. Okay. An ability of a person, i.e. the men, to provide. Right. Or his family to help him or anything like that where he takes care of the woman. So that's one indication. Right. Other than that, you have people with long lists of things. Bottom line, by the time you read that list, you're already falling into haram. Okay? You're already falling into haram. So if a person is ready and he has the financial ability or his family is supporting him, nothing wrong with the family supporting him. When the Prophet ﷺ married Khadija, it was his uncle who paid the mahar. It was his tribe who supported him. He didn't have the money. Okay? But they understood that he needs to get married. So those would be the times. Now what can they do to be more marriageable? Is to be more manly, right? We are suffering from a pandemic of boys, okay? Male boys, not male men, but male boys. They're still playing with Pokemon and collecting little cards and Nintendo and PlayStation. Who's going to marry if you're playing 4 or 5 hours a day PlayStation? I know brothers are going to get upset, you know? But I
mean, it's a real challenge, though. I mean, we should address it. I mean, we often talk about women, but let's talk about us men.
100%. We are weak. We are very mature. Guys are very mature. Women are more mature because physiologically they're more mature. Again, it's that internal clock, that system, mechanism. They reach puberty much faster. They think about things faster. They're ready for marriage faster because they don't need to make money or have some kind of qualification. It's just really women are born with the ability, right? There's just values there from birth.
Yeah.
Okay? They reach that time, it's good to go, mashallah. They're kind of like at the top of the hill, you know?
Yeah.
Men need to climb to the top of the hill to meet a woman. If she comes down, she loses her value.
Yeah.
The man has to climb. And in doing so, he has some bruises, some cuts, some this, some experience, but he needs to build himself. Okay? So the boys that are around us today, yeah, we're suffering from this huge pandemic of immature men, males not being men, not understanding responsibility, not working hard, being lazy. Guys are not waking up for Fajr. You know, forget about waking up for Fajr. They're waking up at like 10. Who's gonna marry a guy? Like a lot of sisters come, they do the counseling. Brother, he doesn't pray Fajr. He wakes up at 10 a.m. I'm already like, I've taken the kids to school, I've done this, and he's still sleeping. He's not waking up. By 11, maybe he's out and about starting to do stuff. He's got no job. He's not even looking for a job. So, not all the brothers, of course, but there is a huge wave of men who are like this. It's very difficult for a woman to respect a man like that, or to marry a man like imagine, you go to a girl, what do you look at? Is she practicing? Is she a good Muslim and praying? And you look at her family. Does she cover? Alhamdulillah, perfect. Other than that, is she pretty? Right? That's it. Guys are simple, man. Yeah. We don't like, oh, what do you have? A PhD, master's, this. Right? A guy can walk into like a coffee shop and see a sister in hijab and like, give me your Wally's number. I'm marrying you. That's it, right? Yeah. Doesn't care. She's a serving chai or whatever. You will not find a woman walk into the chai shop and say, oh my God, look at this brother. I'm going to marry him because he's a chai. He serves chai. No, he needs to have some qualifications, man. You know what I mean? Plus, I don't think any father is going to necessarily give his daughter, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. If he's a good man, inshallah, they should. But if he comes and he asks your, what are you doing? I serve chai, right? They're not going to be so impressed.
Yeah.
So guys have to build, they have to...
Even if they are serving chais, I mean, they should have that drive, that desire to prove that, yes, I'm on my way to something bigger. So when I got married, I wasn't made. My wife's forecasted, or she saw the potential. And I hope, and I think her family saw it as well. But I was nowhere near. I was working in a market store. So,
that's an amazing point.
So I think it's the drive.
Was it easy to find your wife?
Well, we somehow bumped into each other, and alhamdulillah, 6 months in, we were married. So, yes, it's very strange how that happened. But she saw, well, when I later asked her, like, what made you, what do you see in me? Because I was just a guy working in a market store, you know, like every other guys. Why me? And then she said, well, I saw something. There's this fire, there's this drive.
It was drive. It's amazing that you mentioned that, because when you look at female attraction towards men, right, again, it's very different than the way we are attracted to women. Again, men will be up and down, right?
Yeah.
Women, they go longitudinal. And when you interview women, you say, like, what attracts you in a man? It's interesting because they go very, very deep.
Hey guys, I hope you have been enjoying today's conversation of Side by Side with myself as your host, Kazi Shafiqur Rahman, and our guest, Gabriel Al Romaani. This episode was brought to you by Get Micro, a web design agency that's based in London who create beautiful websites for entrepreneurs and small and medium-sized businesses for less than £900 delivered within 10 days or less. If you are looking for a beautifully crafted website to express your products, services, or your ideas, please visit Get Micro. If you have been enjoying our conversation so far, please do consider subscribing to our channel on the platform you are tuned into. Without any further ado, let's get straight into the show.
It's beyond the skin. It's very deep. Again, for men, very superficial.
Yeah.
Does she have... certain things, right?
Yeah.
Men are they're always that's
simple, very simple. It's what we see.
Yeah. So women, they look at, for example, at his eyes. Okay, like literally, I've had so many reporting that there's something. If a man has a specific look, it's like he has an insight, he has a vision, he has a certain look that is serious. I like that's deep, man. Right? Like they can see, like the way he talks, the way he behaves. His demeanor, it shows that he is a man on a mission. This is a man who maybe is not there, but he has the potential. So women always look towards future, or the present, but more leaning towards the future. Where's this guy moving, going, this and that? They can decide in that point to either ride with him, okay, or many of them, because we live in a very materialistic world today, they want to wait at the finish line. Okay, so they always want to wait for the finished project. So you have two types of women.
Yeah.
The best woman is the one who
rides
sees
with
the
you.
potential and she rides with you. That's the wife. The one who's going to wait at the finish line, she's, you go there and like, so what do you have? Oh, you don't have this, you didn't achieve it? Next. She's not the good one. Why? Well, because there's always going to be someone with a better finish line than yours. She's going to give you up. And you find today that women are divorcing like there's no tomorrow. But the one who rides with you is the real good woman.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay,
I guess I'm very fortunate.
You're blessed. That's what you should say.
Alhamdulillah. I mean, what I've put her through is immense trauma through my businesses, through my venture, through my activities, projects. I thought she was taking it well, but then a time came where she just burst out, and I realized at that point, okay, I can't share everything that I'm doing in my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And just be easy. But alhamdulillah, 12 years in, and we're strong. Alhamdulillah. So, breakup of marriages. Are we meant to be blamed, or is it equal, or the scale shifts towards the women more, or what?
It's hard to put a number to it or a percentage, but I would say that women initiate divorce much more now. Right? There's a lot of initiation with now. Automatically, people think, well, that's because they're not happy. And it's easy to just settle it there, right? So women are initiating divorce, means the guys are not good. And that's where people leave it at. Oh, yeah, you see? Guys are waste men. Horrible. It's not like that. I think we need to go a bit deeper into understanding why divorces are initiated. Community-wise, we're looking at about 52% divorce, right, in the Muslim community. First marriages, about 60% second marriages, and it goes down the line. Why are women initiating divorce more? It is, first of all, because they are not happy. Again, whose fault is it? Is it man's fault? Again, society loves to blame men, especially Muslim society. We are in a time where it is very trendy to blame men. Look at imams. Look at dais online. Popular sheikhs. It's always the brothers, right? Come on, guys. The sisters, man. Be nice on the sisters. Have patience. The brothers are ripped left and right. There used to be a time where a sister used to be advised by the sheikhs online. Today, if you even dare to say anything to a sister, bro, you'll be destroyed. Man, you're canceled. Most of the people who even dare to advise the sisters, the algorithm will not favor them, okay? And most likely they'll get a lot of negative feedback from community leaders and so on. When was the last time we heard a khutbah advising women about proper cover or not wearing makeup? I challenge any sheikh to do it, man, see what happens, okay? And they know that. They know that. And in doing so, things change because Islam has become demand supply. As we said before, there's a lot of female validation that seems like the dawah is taken on. It's a lot of demand supply. This is the demand. The demand is, don't talk about the women. Don't criticize the women. Women cannot handle accountability. So it's the brother's fault. Marriages are failed, it's the brother's fault. Problems in the community, it's the brother's fault. Women are not wearing hijab, it's the brother's fault. Women are cheating, it's the brother's fault. Okay? Like, you come, even look at the fatawas, like some of the answers, sorry, I'm not going to mention it, by some of the people online. Oh, I cheated on my husband, or whatever, or what should you do? What should I do? The brothers will be like, oh, the answer is, oh, don't tell him, hide it, okay. Brothers come with the question. Oh, I just found out my wife cheated on me. Brother, you should ask yourself why she did that. What do you mean you should ask yourself why she did that? No matter what the reason is, there's no way she should cheat. Divorce, leave, whatever. But you find these kind of responses of blaming the brothers. I'm not saying everyone, but going back to the question why, a lot of women are unhappy because of the difference between what they're being conditioned to expect from marriage is a fantasy world. I'm going to travel with my hubby to Dubai. We're going to take nice pictures of cappuccinos with little hearts in it and post it online. We're going to look so cute while on the beach of Jumeirah and this and that. And we're traveling to Thailand and all that and sharing everything, and, holding the picture, that hand from far and picturing everything. It's the same stuff over and over again. And then they get married, and that doesn't really happen all the time. Okay. Miskeen, maybe the guy is going to take you to like Wales or something, right? Yeah, it's nice, but not where you want it to. There's a lot of fantasy around marriage today. Why? Because that's what social media pushes. Imagine, all of us have gone through this conditioning process. It starts with cartoons when you're very young, Walt Disney, all these things. Then you move on to social media, Hollywood, Bollywood, a lot of fantasy. And then reality hits. So here's fantasy, here's reality. Look how far they're apart. In between these two is depression. This is the vacuum. As the farther they are, the more sad you will be. The closer, more realistic you are, the better you'll be. But in general with women, this is their psychology. And you can study it. I can pinpoint it to you in researches, and even women themselves will be honest enough, a lot of them, to say, we do fantasize a lot. We do live sometimes in this idealistic dream. For example, it's known when it comes to the wedding, you have evidences in these in literature, in prose, in anything, in history, that women were always like, oh, marriage, the dress, the this, the horse, the Prince Charming, right? The guy's like, I want to get married, bro. Marriage night, you know what I mean? They're very like, again, very linear.
Yeah.
You don't really have a man saying, no, I'm going to get married to this girl in a white dress, and I'm going to wear a nice suit, and this and that, right?
Yeah.
Guys are like, I want to get married, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you want the marriage? I don't care. Just get married. It's usually the mother, another woman who fantasizes, who arranges the whole marriage. It's like almost like it's her marriage, right? So that fantasy world and that reality are far apart. That vacuum in between is that sadness that leads women to seek divorce, or to do things that will break the marriage, or to complain, to make the man feel like he's not good, which will obviously now ping pong between the two and cause problems. It's not that it's only the women's fault. I'm not saying that, right? In many cases, the woman maybe just wanted a good guy who prays Fajr and was going to the masjid in Zindawa, but he's playing Fortnite for 4 hours a day and he's sleeping in 10 a.m.
Is that real? Like what you're saying is
100%, bro. 100%. It's a pandemic, bro. There's a lot of brothers who are like, they don't pray Fajr. That's one of the complaints of women. Like, I married him, he doesn't pray Fajr. He doesn't wake up. He doesn't work. He's just wasting time. He's very tired, very overweight, very lethargic. So many women complain about this. So it is a problem. So that's a valid concern, no doubt. I mean, if your husband doesn't pray Fajr, man, it's a big issue. Some scholars will be like, end it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you will have some people who are very strict on that, right? So, but then there's some, just because they're not going to Dubai, they want to break the marriage, or because they're not having this amazing Bollywood-style love marriage, that they're basically...
So you've got Shaitan, I mean, who's on a 100%. Mission to break the marriage from the day you get married. Before you get married, I mean, he's making you do all sorts
100%.
Nowadays. And then once you're married, he's finding every way, looking for every ways and whispering in every way possible to try and put doubts in. And then you've got the social media, which is like is setting out KPIs for us, key performance indicators. So you have to fall within that framework. And it's teaching us, it's educating us, those algorithms, to be in a certain way.
Conditioning.
And you just, I completely agree with what you're saying. It's expectation versus reality.
Social media, by the way, is a tool of shaitan. Media is a tool of shaitan. And not everything, because we're doing da'wah, alhamdulillah. But don't think the shaitan is playing with sticks and stones, He's very advanced. He's always on top of the most common trends. And he'll use those things. So don't think they're separated. Shaitan's there. He's working through it.
So you do a lot of counseling.
Mm.
I mean, without mentioning any identities or names, what's the worst have you seen so far?
You want the worst?
Yeah, the worst.
Like the worst genres or the worst story?
Worst story.
Like, is it okay to
Yeah,
say?
sure.
So I had a case of trauma of a woman who's been basically raped by her mother and father at the same time. Yeah, Muslim family.
Are these people like humans or are they jinns in the guise
Humans,
of
man.
human beings?
Human. Basically, her mother was saying that you need to give in to your father because he's the first man you're ever gonna try and taste, and and she helped, and
Yeah.
they all had it together. What's called
What
a
the-
threesome.
No, and Muslim.
Muslims, mother and father,
Humans.
their own biological child.
That is disgusting, bro.
I don't know if you want to cut that off or whatever, but yeah, this is maybe
Wow.
I would think one of the most.
So,
There's other, like I don't consider like someone, for example, even though there's suicide cases, there's all kinds of things, murder, attempted murder, all kinds of weird things. So, but this is like
so do you
your own
think?
child, man.
Yeah.
The people they're supposed to take
Yeah.
care of you the most, and you trust the most,
It's
right?
sickening, and you see on news as well. Like it's not just Muslims, like non-Muslims,
So
murdering
usually when
babies.
one part, let's say a female abuser or a male abuser, you're not going to trust that side, right? Imagine both. She doesn't trust men or women anymore. That woman,
It's mad.
right? So
I don't know how these people. I mean, what their psychological state is to be able to do that, or even kill. Like there was a recent story on media. This nurse killed babies. Like
yeah,
you must be like.
I'm
some-
not saying. Look, yeah, we've seen it, and I've seen cases of these kind of issues. I know it sounds bad, and I don't want people to make the wrong judgment. But when you end someone's life, that person's life's over.
Yeah.
Inshallah, Allah will admit him into Jannah, inshallah, right? But when you live with those scars, that's death through 1,000 paper cuts, man. You die slowly each and every day. I'd rather die than to live.
That is. I mean, imagine like taking someone's life away, bro. Like, how are you gonna live? And there are people like that who are serial killers, serial abusers,
There, yeah.
offenders. Wow.
Yeah, and that's why for those people who criticize Islam all the time, right? And the Sharia, why the Sharia is so strict on these things, and the punishments are so strict.
So Sharia is very straightforward. It's
And
very
the punishments
simple.
are exemplary for
Yeah.
people to see, because it deters you. If not, society goes that way. And we're not talking about non-Muslims. We're talking about Muslims, bro.
I mean, we've had an incident in Bangladesh. The prime minister of the country, overnight, she was overthrown.
Yeah.
And this set an example for other leaders who are doing similar things.
Yeah.
And I think Islamic way of punishment, I mean, in this part of the world, they say they don't do it, but they do it. In Iraq, they killed Saddam Hussein
Yeah.
with the same punishment that normally a Muslim country would undertake. But then
there's
again,
a lot
in
of
this part of the world, it's not allowed.
Yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy,
Too much. I've seen some of your videos online. You talk about women's virginity.
Uh-huh.
I mean, how is one supposed to now verify all of this nowadays? Because you can't ask these questions.
Mm-hmm. You can ask these questions. Why not?
It's awkward, isn't it?
Doesn't mean you cannot ask it. So if I want to get married to a virgin woman, and that's what I want, I can say, look, family or whoever, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a woman who prays, who covers, and who's a virgin.
And the woman can say the same thing about a man as well.
She can make her demands, no doubt, 100%. Right? But
a man, you can't tell with a man. With a woman, you can.
But that's the interesting part, right? That men and women are so different that by nature, okay, and by default, if you look at the incident rates, you'll not find women really asking this question. And it's not because they're shy. It's because women, I'm not saying they don't care. I want to be careful here with my words. It's not so much into the interest of a woman. She doesn't put so much value whether a man actually has been with another woman before. And let's just use the concept of marriage. A woman, if she finds a man who is divorced, as long as he's good, he's a righteous man and sinner, she's not going to care that he was married before. However, reverse the role. If a man he's never been married, and there's a woman who's been divorced once, maybe twice, through halal, he's not going to go that easy on that. He might consider it, but most likely not. Even society at large, the culture is going to look down upon it in a sense. I'm not saying it's necessarily fully correct. You're looking at just nature. Men put value on the virginity of a woman. Let me not even just use the word virginity. On the experience of the woman, the past experiences. Least past experiences a woman has, the better it is for a man. In his fitra, in his nature. Okay? And even the Prophet ﷺ, in the hadith with Ja'bir ibn Abdullah, he asked him, right, what is it? Would you marry? He said, so and so. Virgin or previously married? He said, previously married. Why didn't you marry a virgin? Easier to satisfy. He qualifies the statement. And you play with her, she plays with you. Right? Ja'bir went to explain, I have sisters, I have girls that I need to be taken care of. So this one has experience. So the Prophet said, okay, then it makes sense. Right? But here, it's a very complex hadith. Right? But you see, there's this and there's that. The default and the recommendation was for a virgin. Even the Prophet only married one virgin. Right? I don't agree with the brothers get so like obsessed on it. Oh, virgin. No, non-virgin. And that was my contention with Mahdi, why we discussed, right? I said, no, like, I'm not saying the Prophet didn't recommend that. I'm talking about what do you do with the non-virgins? Do they just roam around the street and do nothing? Right? What do you do with that? That's where polygyny also comes into play. But we're going to talk about that later.
So he changed his views on this matter. Mahdi,
I've seen some things, yeah.
Yeah.
But bottom line is that still, even though the Prophet only married one virgin, Aisha, he was recommending that. Right? Personally, that's my issue. I'm not obsessed on it. However, because I work with these brothers, I understand where they come from. I understand that in general, by default, men are going to prefer that because the experience of a woman of the past, it does slowly remove her value. This is agreed 100% when it comes to certain things, not on all things. And again, women, they cannot accept it because they want us to think like them. Because again, let me rephrase. A woman in general is not going to make such a big deal about it. They're more empathetic. Allah created them like that. Women, for example, in my clients, I'm not saying this is correct, but by nature, because when men cheat, for example, about 95% of women forgive them. They want to take another chance at the marriage. 100% of men do not forgive. I don't think that I've had a case in 20 years of experience now where a man forgave his wife for cheating. Why? Women can say, I see we're better than you guys. It's not that. It's that we don't value the same things. You girls don't see videos and things. Women are like, I want my husband to be a virgin. What does that mean anyway? I want my husband to... Actually, women even prefer men to have some experiences. It is what it is, bro. Look, let's look at, for example, some sisters, they marry some brothers who had a past. MashaAllah, the brothers repented. He's got a big beard, he's praying, Allahumma barik, he's working in dawah. He's a bit rougher on the edges, you know? He was a roadman before. Now he's, mashallah, first row, praying, this and that. She knows. He's had women before, he had a past, selling drugs. Bro, you know a lot of the brothers are like that. Come on, you know that, especially East London here.
Yeah.
Okay? Ya akhi. The sisters will get together. You know what they'll say to each other? You know, my husband, back in the days, he was a roadman. He's a gangster. Now, alhamdulillah, Allah guided him. She prays, you know, she like almost brags. And the sister's like, oh my God, this is so cute. Wow. Ooh. Yeah. Like the beast was tamed and now he's like, you'll never find the brothers. We get together. Brother, my wife back in the days, bro, she was a stripper. True or not? True or not? Right? It's not, man. A man would not do that. He cannot be proud of that.
We're just different. We're just so different.
Yeah, so women have to understand it's not that we just try to like press you, or it's just that you have to understand the man's mind works differently. Okay? He's gonna evaluate things differently. It's not that men don't want to accept that, okay, Allah forgave you, or you had a past and Allah forgave. It's not about that. People mistake this issue. What we're dealing with when we're talking about virginity, and I've been studying now this, looking at the different opinions, because if you see online, the issue's been oversimplified. You have a few videos, brothers are hit really hard, don't ask about it, don't nothing, khalas. And usually it started from a question where the brother said, hey, Sheikh, I married my wife. I was clear before marriage that I wanted a virgin. And he says, because I was a virgin. I never had women. I wanted that. That's a fair thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
However, on the night of the marriage, I found that she's not a virgin. And then she admitted to me that she was not a virgin, that she had multiple partners. What do I do now? Bro, the brother is broken. So first of all, she claimed to be a virgin. He demanded a virgin, and she deceived him. So without a doubt, for example, the Hanafis, the Hanbalis, all the Madahib agree that if you deceived the brother, has the chance or the option to cancel the marriage and take the mahar back. There's no doubt about that. Okay? It's clear. The brother's broken. Right? But in general, you find, oh, Allah forgave her. Allah, just accepted. Who are you to judge her? It's not so simple. I'm not saying that she shouldn't hide her sins. That's a different story. I think we're mixing things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mixing, right? Like we have the right arrows. So, mashallah, the mashayikh, they have the right arrows, but they're shooting the wrong target.
Yeah.
Right? So the hadith they use and some of the evidence is correct, but it's shooting the wrong issue. Right? So because there was deception, because there was many things, plus, okay, Allah accepted her tawbah. How come she was exposed? You know what I mean? So I think it's oversimplified. So I've been doing a lot of research, talking to different mashayikh, and we've dug out the scripts, all the opinions, and it's not like that whatsoever. It's a real thing that men will value virginity, to the point that some of the ulama said that the mahar of the virgin woman is higher because she basically, it's almost like you're paying extra for the blood money, meaning the blood money, because she has to go through that pain.
Yeah.
Okay? While the one who's not a virgin, no, so her is lower. Another clear evidence of the distinction in the Sunnah. The Prophet advised that the virgin woman, you should spend 7 days with her when she gets married, when you get married. While the matron or the non-virgin, 3 days. This is in authentic hadith clearly stated. But there's a distinction. Why are people trying to make it sound that it's not? They're getting caught in the technical term, the legal term, versus the haqiqi term. Haqiqi, or the physiological term. Okay? Why is it a problem right now? Why are we talking so much about it? Because a lot of the sisters who are hearing these videos, see, this is where the applicability of the Sharia and the wisdom comes in, of the people who are on the ground dealing with these issues. You got these sisters in first year university. Her dad put her there for a 4-year program, and he expects her to do a master. She's going to be stuck there for 6 years, most likely. And you got these handsome boys coming around her, and she's really struggling. The guy just wants to commit zina with her. She likes him. She's so attractive, but she knows that her father will never allow her to marry him. She will never be able to marry, and even if it is to marry, it will be another 6 years. Imagine, she has desires, a lot of desires. Not to mention, there's a time in a female cycle where it's really hard when they ovulate, really hard. A lot of people, they think women are like ice cubes.
Yeah.
Nothing. Women do not have any desires. No. So these women are sitting on the fence, akhi. They are crying. They are suffering from desire. And the guys are coming, the really handsome guys. Come on, let me take you for a coffee. They'll fall and slip into sins. And then they hear this video. It's okay. If you're not married, you're still a virgin. So you go through 10 guys, multiple boyfriends, and you're still a virgin? According to some of these brothers, yes, you're still a virgin.
Wow.
So she's hearing that. She says, well, that's a great deal. So I can go through Mr. Handsome, pretty boy, Lebanese guy, okay? But then I'm going to marry just a, typical guy, okay, from whatever. And he thinks he's getting the typical traditional girl. But I've been ran through. Astaghfirullah, forgive me.
Astaghfirullah.
Okay? But hey, the sheikh said, I'm still a virgin. So I'm telling a virgin. On the marriage night, the guy, he's going to tell. Okay, you don't have to examine the blood, man. This is a misconception.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, the hymen. They don't even know what the hymen is. They don't even understand the anatomy 101 of what's a virgin woman and what's not a virgin woman. Okay? The brother's going to know, man. What do you think he's going to feel? What do you think this woman who's sitting on the edge is going to do when she hears that I can still be a virgin even if I had sex with 10 guys? This is not wisdom, bro. Okay? There's knowledge and there's wisdom. Both are part of the Sharia. You have to understand. I'm not saying I'm the mufti or the sheikh or anything like that. But there's knowledge and there's wisdom in the Sharia. There's ahkam and then there's hikmah. All right? Knowledge is to know that a tomato is a fruit. Okay? That's knowledge. Wisdom is to know not to put it in a fruit salad. Okay? There's a difference.
Yeah.
Right? So this is how the Sharia works. Got to be careful what you say and to who and how and this and that.
Do you think people should really start educating themselves on the basics as well? Because some of the comments that you see online, it seems it's very laughable. Like, oh, why can't I marry four men?
Right.
You know, I just laugh to myself when I see these comments.
A comment like that comes from a position of masculinity. A lot of the girls today are extremely masculine, hyper masculine. Look at the sisters, man.
Why? Why is it that they want to be like us men?
They want to be like men, or they want to be men even though society tells them to hate men. Right? But this is the deception of feminism. First wave, second wave, third wave feminism. I think we're in like fourth wave feminism right now. Is that the same person that they hate, they want to be.
Yeah.
And it's worked because if you look at society, it's pushed men to be weak. It's pushed men to take more feminine roles. It's pushed men. Now you got men who are trying to get pregnant and all that. But it's still a very small amount. Compared to, and it goes unnoticeable, to the amount of women they have pushed outside of the house to be engineers, to be firefighters, to be soldiers, boxers, MMA fighters, powerlifters, all traditionally men. Not so many men were pushed to do ballet, for example. There are some guys, but it's not like but look, there's a mass exodus from the female roles into the masculine sphere. The world has always been run by men. Women were always supportive. That doesn't mean that their role is bad. It's an amazing role. Every man, every warrior, every king, every prophet was born from a woman. He had the tarbiyah of a mother. It's a beautiful thing. It's the most beautiful thing when a woman gives tarbiyah to that soul that's going to become that leader. But they've been convinced that is bad. That's something to be ashamed of. So then they moved in to become the warriors themselves. You can see these videos online. These sisters are boxing and riding horses with swords. They're going to take over Palestine and this and that. You know, it's rubbish type of videos, to be honest. Because the society's convinced them that this is what you need to be. You need to be like men. What happened is, in doing so, and doing the behavior of men, wearing the clothes of men, doing the actions of men, this is where you look at cognition versus behavior, your mind and your body. How does your behavior influence your mind, and how does your thoughts influence your behavior? Those are related.
So it's out of sync.
Yeah, the more you do manly things, you're going to think like a man. So a lot of these girls, when they say, why can't I marry? Because you're thinking like a man now. You are thinking manly. You speak like a man these days. You walk like a man. You fight like a man. Everything is like a man. A lot of marriages do not work out because women are in a very strong masculine energy. It's always fighting. They want to oppose everything. They want to have their say and everything. This is not very feminine. Oh, why, brother? We should be a carpet, a doormat to be walked on? No, it's not. No one says that. But when you fight and the way you speak, look at some of the sisters. The way they
Do
speak.
you think brothers can also assume certain behavior or certain attitude from day one? Like, I am the man and this is how I'm going to be the man. I feel like certain times when you assume that responsibility, the counterparty will, step back a bit. Or am I wrong in thinking that?
It's possible. However, if a woman's been conditioned to be masculine her whole life, okay, very independent, excuse me, outgoing, doing whatever, right? Yeah, you can say, I'm the man. And she'll tell you, says who? You know what I mean? Like she has to already be in some sort of a feminine energy to be able to accept that. So then the two synergize. A lot of brothers think, okay, I'll just come in and put my foot down. I'm the man, right? The sister is going to fight back.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not so simple. I think it's more complicated than that. They just, okay, from day one, I'm going to put the rules down and so on. If a woman's been conditioned her whole life to be in that masculine energy, it's very hard to get rid of it.
Is it? So leadership, generally everywhere, you take the responsibility, but you take the accountability at the same time that comes with it.
Yeah.
Do you think if brothers were to take more responsibility and do what they really should be doing, then hopefully the sisters will see the value in that, I guess,
I see your
structure.
point. No, I do agree with that. I see your point. However, again, you're still faced with a woman who might want to compete with you for that responsibility. She might want to compete with you for that leadership role. And that's where the West has come up with the 50-50 point, right? And in many cases, actually society even favors women and pushes women to be more in leadership roles, which is like an affirmative approach, an affirmative agenda. You find that even in, for example, in Muslim countries right now, certain Muslim countries. As a woman, if you're going to take a certain position, you might get a higher salary than a man because they want to have this affirmative action to push women into those positions. It's very hard for women in certain countries to resist this offer of gaining a lot of money, more than your husband, for example, an engineering position or a police position or a military position. You understand? So, yes, I see your point. If a man by nature should exemplify those strong role of leadership, accountability, and so on, women could fall into line. But I think the difference has to be very high.
Yeah.
Like the man has to be like really here for her to look up at him and be like, oh, wow, okay, I'm ready to submit.
He needs to effectively inspire her as opposed to
if
just...
they're here, it's very difficult.
There'll be a clash.
But she'll be like, what do you have that I don't have? I could probably do this better than you. And the society tells her, yes, you can. Yes, you can. We will support you. Don't worry. We'll push you into it. So it's. I agree with you, but it's not as simple because you're still faced with years of conditioning for the women that, hey, fight for that position. Who says that he should be going out only? Who says that he should have a career only? Who says that he should have a job only? Why can't you? Aren't you ashamed to just stay in the house? Look at him. He's having all the fun. He's having all the conquests and the experiences in life.
There's a sense of jealousy. Like,
There's a very deep sense of jealousy within women that's been instilled into them. And that's why they're competing with men. And they don't even know it's subconscious. They're made to feel that if you stay in your space, you remain where you are, taking care of the traditional roles, that you are a loser. Right? So imagine people keep telling you, you're a loser, you're a loser, you're a loser, you're a loser, you're a loser. Come on, look at this. Look at all the glamour that you could get. It's like in football, the goalie doesn't get a lot of action. He has to defend the net. The goalie is very important. But let's analyze the game, though. It's always Ronaldo that gets the glamour. He scores, right? And that's it. The goalie sits there. No one ever puts the camera on the goalie. Very, very
He saved
seldom.
the day. He saved the day.
Right? It's always on the guy who scores.
Yeah.
The woman is in the goal, in the net. And all of a sudden, all the supporters and the whole world says, hey, goalie, go, man. Go score some goals. Leave your position. Leave the net empty. Come on, why only Ronaldo scores? Why Messi only? Why, these guys? Why? Come on. She says, that's a good idea. Leaves. Guess what? Goal.
Wow.
You lose.
An interesting thing is the main international football is all men versus men. I haven't seen a woman player within, I guess, the men mix.
There's no such thing, brother. There's no such thing. They try to do certain things here and there to mix things. It'll never happen.
It's just not going to happen.
The under 15 or something, whatever league played the women's national team, Australia, beat them like 20-0 or something like that. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, brother. Women and men.
We just have to accept certain things. And
the problem is that I think as men we accept it. I don't think women accept it. It's easier for men because we've been blessed.
We're happy where we are. We're not trying to be women.
Yeah, we're not trying to be women. There's a few men who might, okay?
Okay.
But we don't. Why? Because the focus has been on women, to corrupt the women, to get the women to be jealous, to get the women to hate their position. What is it being a mother? So what's the outcome of that? Women have less children.
You destroy a whole society.
Yeah. Hate being at home. What do you mean you're cooking for him and cleaning for him? So women are leaving now. They're not cooking, they're not cleaning, they're not staying in the house. They're going outside. So it's changing things. There's this jealousy. How come? How come he does it? I have to do it as well. It's such a shame for me to be a housewife. It's such a shame for me to stay at home and to be just a mother. I can be a doctor and this and this and this and this. And a lot of Muslims, even men, people who are influencers have fallen into this argument. They've destroyed women by telling them, no, you go, sister, you can do this and this. And they'll try to cite certain very, very exception cases in some hadith to say, see, there you go. And that can be easily refuted, very, very easily. So women also, though, while they thought that they're doing this, they're unhappy. They are not happy.
It's not their natural default setting.
It's not. It's not their natural default or setting. They are hard to accept that this is reality, but they are very unhappy. Being there, out there every single day. Now, slowly,
the tide
things
is
are changing.
turning. Yeah.
However, the non-Muslim women are a bit more honest. They're coming about with traditional wives, trad wives movements. The Muslim women are still stuck a little bit behind. They're still a bit arrogant. They don't want to admit that this is not their place. And they're suffering. I've interviewed so many women. A lot of them are suffering, but they just don't want to admit it.
Expectation is the expectation, invisible expectation that
You're not built for that, akhi. You can't handle it. You're not built for that. Your cycle, your system is built differently. You're not built to be out there 7 days of the week when you're menstruating with pains and all that. Yeah, you can take all kinds of medicine, pads and all that. Bottom line is your body's not ready. A man is ready.
He's ready anytime.
He's built for that. Okay, this is the way it is. Just like a man will do horrible to stay at home and take care of the kids 7 days a week. It will be horrible. It will be probably dangerous. You know, he's just not built for that. Right? But people don't see it. Society has convinced them to not respect these gender roles that were designed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I mean, if we just embraced our, I wouldn't say role, but
Our
maybe
nature,
responsibilities, our own responsibilities, and I think it should take care of itself normally.
It just comes in, plays very nice.
Yes.
And that's
Easier
why,
said than done.
that's why the team that wins usually in football is the one that
Stays in the lane.
stays in their own position. They move properly. They all win. The whole team wins, right?
Yeah.
It's not like one guy wins. In the end, when they get the trophy and they get the recognition, they'll say Portugal won the World Cup or this one won the World Cup. They're not going to say Ronaldo won the World Cup or one person. The whole team wins. Problem is that we've been broken. Men are against women.
I think we just think about Ummah as a whole when it comes to catastrophes and humanitarian crises. But when it comes to the day-to-day societal issues, it's really, we're quite selfish still.
100%.
It's not my problem. It's their problem, you know. Well, I didn't want to get into this, but since we're talking quite openly, do you think all of this that we've spoken about necessitate the discussion of multiple wives, polygamy?
Again, I think that is unavoidable. Why? Well, because it's just something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed as a solution to community's problems. For example, women say men are weak. Women don't want to marry a weak man. Okay? They want to marry a good man, a strong man. Strong men are not so many. Okay? So if there's a few strong men, many women, women don't have to be strong, man. Okay? So women will tend to lean towards a person of higher value. A lot of women, higher number of women, okay? Men have always died in war, they've gone to jail more, there's always less availability. It's in men's nature. Okay, maybe they won't get married, but they're always going to practice polygyny, haram, whatever way. Men is always going to have the need for variety. And the easiest evidence is that is the usage of pornography by men. What is pornography? It's just a e-polygyny. It's a virtual way of polygyny. They still, guys are like, no, I just want one woman. I'm not. And he's on all kinds of websites going through all kinds of things. I'm just one woman man. What are you doing, bro? How do we know? Well, we can know easily. Statistics are so clear today of the usage of pornography. It's rampant, bro. Right? So it's a huge issue, and many other things. It's built in men. You cannot take it out.
And it's not just Muslim men. When we talk about men, we're not talking about Muslim men.
Everyone. Throughout centuries.
Throughout centuries.
It's always been like that. What happened is that recently, with colonization, the colonial powers, they understood in order to colonize these empires, Africa, India, they had to break down the system. It was a very strong system of polygyny in India and Africa. Many children, multiple children, strong armies. And monogamy brought about weakness towards men. Weakness.
But isn't that self-destruction to themselves as well? To the I guess colonizers.
No, because they practice polygyny anyway. It's just they don't have the element of halal and haram.
Okay, so
they knew that Muslims have the element of halal and haram.
They do it unofficially.
Yeah, they do it anyway. Non-Muslims, they don't care about this halal and haram. They can do whatever they want. Sexually, they're very liberated. But if we can enslave the Muslims sexually by convincing him that this is haram, and if you look at it, the way our community treats polygyny, it's as haram. They say, no, yeah, it's allowed, but
don't do it.
Don't do it. They treat it as haram. If a man is even going to dare to do it, he's going to be ostracized by community, starting from the imam of the masjid, his wife, his mother, his family. Everyone's going to consider him as a criminal. The man himself is going to feel like a criminal, like what I've done. You break in families, you're this, blah, 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 all these things, right? But this was their approach to dismantle the system. They made the men very weak. Most families have 1 or 2 children now. This is the average, bro. You going back 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 7, 10 children was like average, maybe more, okay? But not now. Right? Men are very weak. They're like, I can't even handle one wife. How am I going to have more? Look at that. Always this state, man. So we've basically been fooled and duped by people who are practicing polygyny illegally and unlawfully for us to stay within the boundaries, to restrict ourselves and to feel like criminals if we do something that Allah has legislated. People can say, but it's not the time and this and that. Well, guess what? At the time of the Prophet ﷺ was also not the time because everything's relative. Polygyny was not revealed to the Prophet ﷺ. It was for 1,000 years, prophets before were polygyny. So someone could have been at this time, you are the Prophet of mercy. You are the less prophet. Stay only with one wife. The Prophet ﷺ had 9 wives at the same time. 11, some say.
You know what women say? Oh, be like Prophet then if you want.
Okay, we'll be like Prophet. Do you know how the Prophet was? This is one of the main mistakes, and probably a big fitna, is that people define these parameters based on their minds. They actually never study the life of the Prophet ﷺ. They don't know anything about the life of the Prophet ﷺ. They say, be like the Prophet. Do you know how the Prophet was with his wives? Have you actually looked at all the hadith to see what does justice mean? Because justice, according to who? Who defines adala and justice? You or me or any sheikh? No. It's the Prophet ﷺ. We have to look at his life to see what are those parameters of when polygyny should be practiced and how did he practice it. than maybe the sheikhs who are mashallah experts, who are always inclined towards monogamy and telling the brothers, no, 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 no. The brothers are still doing it, by the way, bro. Behind this door, secret marriages, this and that. They're doing it, brother. You know that. Okay? But maybe the sheikh should just say, hey, how about we teach you? How about we go to the fiqh of polygyny? Which masjid has done a course on that? Trust me, bro, in every masjid you find a lot of brothers for it.
The donations will stop.
Donations. That's the truth, though. And he might lose his position. However, the followers of the masjid are still practicing polygyny. Brothers are still calling me saying, bro, I'm going to do it.
Then should we just leave it and unspoken and just...
But it happens. And you know what? I agree that a lot of times it's not done properly. I agree. And that causes more problems. It's still going to be done.
What is the proper way then?
We need to analyze the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. It's a long discussion. Okay, the imams are responsible to teach us how to do it properly. The same way they teach us how to do Hajj and Umrah is easy way, right? Nice. No one has a problem with Hajj and Umrah. The same way they teach us how to deal with the non-Muslims, the same way they teach us how to pray, the same way they teach us the fiqh of zakah, they should teach us all this, okay? Women and men. Because guess what? Wallahi, bro, I swear by Allah, a lot of women want polygyny. And this is probably shocking for people.
Really?
A lot of women are looking for polygyny, yes. 100%. 100%. I'll give you the example of one of the clients that I'm just dealing with today. Okay? It's a woman. Okay? She has a certain situation in her family. She's been divorced. And she's older. But there's certain restrictions on her. She doesn't want people, she just wants to get married to a man in a way that not too many people know. And she doesn't want she wants a man who's married. This is the easiest for her, but she needs to have a man. She needs a husband. Okay? Yes, she's a human being. Yes, she has desires. Hello? Her brother's like, oh my God, how dare she? Because she's a human being. She is, what do you think she's an, a'udhu billah, an inanimate object? She has the right. It's her right. Many sisters are in that situation. Many sisters will say, I'd rather marry in polygyny. I'll go for a man that I know he has a track record that he knows how to get married. He knows how to do it. He's had, let's say, a wife or 2 wives for 10 years. I'm willing to be his 3rd wife. Yeah, be careful, sisters. Don't marry the guy who you know he divorced 30 women within the last 3 years. Be smart, yeah? This is the bad man. We warn against those type of men, 100%. Those are bad men who use Islam. They twist Islam for their own benefit. Okay? Yes, there's a lot of that. I acknowledge and I agree that there's a lot of bad men like that. But a guy who has a track record and he's, okay, and it's not going to be perfect, bro. It's not going to be a perfect marriage. The Prophet had marital problems. Don't be looking for perfection in this dunya. But a guy who's kept it steady, he had, marriage for many years, and he's, it's like having a job for many years, right? You have a track record on your CV or resume, whatever you want to call it, that I know how to do my job properly. And what's wrong with that?
Do you think it's better if women talk about these aspects as well? Because it's like when you tell your wife or someone
100%.
of opposite gender, do this or do that, or I think of this, there's always a defensive element.
But they do. There's a lot of women who talk about this, but they are met with the same disgusting criticism and resistance that men are met, or even worse, because women are called traitors and weird and this and that, home wreckers. It's always the second wife always gets the worst. And I'm always like, look at that contradiction. She's a woman. You're always criticizing men, but she's a woman who wants polygyny. And now all of a sudden you call her a traitor because she doesn't agree with your feelings. She becomes a criminal, a home wrecker. Why? Why does she not have the right to get married? Why does she not have the right to a husband, to a good man? Because you don't feel like it, right? We're Muslims. We submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rules. But this is not only about Islam, akhi. It's also what it is about Islam, but it's in the fitrah. And that's why you find a lot of non-Muslim women agreeing to this and understanding and actually championing this, right? Polygyny, or what they call now polyamory, they've retermed it and rebranded it. It's very popular now, man. They even made Netflix about it and all kinds of documentaries, and it's become now popular reality shows. Everyone's enjoying it, right? Sister wives and all this, trad wives, sister wives, the Mormons and all that. But yeah, it's not just linked to it. It's been there for a long time. It's in the fit. I believe that a woman, it's in her fitra to tolerate polygyny. I believe
Wow,
it's
it's
even,
like, as a man, I can never ever, like, I can't feel it. Like, I would be very jealous if that was the opposite way.
yeah, because we're men. It's very different. We're created very different, right?
Wow.
It's extremely hard to explain. It's that contradiction of nature because we're different in nature. Men could never ever tolerate the thought of another man touching his wife. But women, I'm not saying there's no jealousy. Even the wives of Rasul had jealousy, but they can tolerate it. They're able to do it. It's in their nature to do it. Even with an argument, I would say that when a man has women around him, other women will tend to gravitate towards him.
Why is that?
It's in their nature to find attractiveness when other women find a man attractive. It might be a woman that she will not find a man extremely attractive, but when other women find him attractive or they're on him, she'll all of a sudden find him attractive as well. It's just female psychology, bro. It's hard to define. I'm not saying they're not jealous, right? There will be jealous. There's a lot of contradictions in human nature you have to understand. It's like one thing attracts you, but at the same time repels you.
Is it more like a marketing thing? Because, like, if someone's in a job, it's easier to hire that person for another job, like headhunt them. But if he's out of job, then it's much more difficult to, I mean, you would look for more things, you do more background checks.
No doubt, but again, it applies to women only. Men don't look at it that way.
Okay.
Men cannot handle that. It's impossible. If I walk into a room and I see a woman surrounded by 10 men, I'm going to think probably very bad of her. I'm not going to want to go there, to be the 11th guy. However, if a woman walks into a room and sees a man surrounded by 10 women, most likely she will go to see what's going on there.
That's one thing I don't get. These playboys, how they get away with it. I mean, they've just made it accept other women. Like, that's how I am.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Right. This is a concept, I guess, depends on who you are. Hypergamy, right? It's been explained a lot. It is something very true. It depends who you are. So if you see it in our current stage right now, you look at football players or basketball players, right? Women don't mind to be with them. Even if he has 5, 10 girlfriends, they'll still go for him. But your average Tom, Dick, Harry, they're not going to go for that, man. Like, ugh, disgusting. But if he has a high value, he can have 10 women around. She does not mind being the 11th.
Wow.
And that's why men and women are different. I know people say kufar, this and that. No, it happens. I'll give you an example. Average, whatever, Abdullah or Muhammad comes around. Sisters are like, they might not even notice him. Sheikh so-and-so is online. He'll get marriage proposals, bro, all the time, bro. The women will be like, I don't care. I'll be your 4th wife. It doesn't matter. Just marry me. And indeed, a lot of sheikhs online and brothers receive a lot of marriage proposals. Why? It's because of what they represent and who they are, their charisma. Women get attracted to that. And they do not mind to share that man. But if he's no one, forget about it. She'll put in the contract, no second wife.
Well, I hope our comments box will be full with, I suppose, discussions and agreements, disagreements from both sides. But personally, where I stand, I think it's just we should just be responsible for our own lane. We should just do what we're made to do, and I think we'll have a less complicated marriage, partnership.
It goes back to that. If we submit to what Allah has created us, problems will be less. We try to come up with new ideas and new solutions that we think of. We're just going to complicate our lives.
Brother Gabriel, so much to talk about. Let's, inshallah, end with a quick fire question that we normally do with all our guests, just to get a deep understanding as to who they are and what they're like. So my first question would be, what would be your best hijrah destination?
Right now, Malaysia.
Nice. You know, Malaysia is so humid. I can't do humidity.
I love it.
Which Muslim scholar do you watch or listen to most?
Which Muslim scholar do I watch or listen to the most? I don't have one person. I look at a variety of different people. Yeah.
Okay. Cleverly answered. Your most impactful quote that really just resonates with you all the time, no matter where you are in life.
My quote or someone else's quote?
Someone else's quote that resonates with you a lot and that really drives you.
Yeah, there's an ayah in the Quran where Allah says, and know, وَعَلَمُ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَحُولُ بَيْنَ الْمَرِّ وَقَلْبِ, that Allah comes between a man and his heart. I think it's a very, very deep quote. Allah comes, he literally says, Allah comes between a man and his heart. Yeah.
That puts everything into perspective.
Yeah.
What's your favorite hobby?
Favorite hobby is traveling.
Well, I guess we all aspire to travel a lot more. I personally do, but I have this homesickness thing. You know, when I'm traveling, then I'm taking time to settle down in the other end. And then when I'm about to come back, then I'm settled in there. Then I don't want to come back. So I sometimes try and avoid traveling. It's just I get homesick a lot. As soon as I leave my postcode, I start feeling homesick. Brother Gabriel, thank you so much for accommodating this discussion and podcast. And I hope our viewers will enjoy and find it thought-provoking at least. And you never know, maybe someone will take something away. And I think that's my only goal, you know, is to shed positive light and to spark positive conversations, and those ones that are not also spoken about a lot. But for me personally, I want to learn. I'm inquisitive. Now that's the word that I've learned today. So I'm very inquisitive, and I've learned so much from you today. Alhamdulillah.
You're doing a great job. Amazing podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, I found your conversations very, very insightful, because I did watch this debate you had with Mehdi Tijani. Before I interviewed Mehdi Tijani, I watched that debate and I was like super keen. I was like, who's this brother Gabriel? He sounds American. Okay, maybe he doesn't come to the UK. Maybe I'm not going to get to meet him. But alhamdulillah, here we are.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you so much. Jazakallah. And that's it for today on Side by Side. I hope you have found our today's conversation insightful, educational, and thought-provoking. If you have, please do consider subscribing to our channel on the platform you are tuned into. It is your subscription that motivates us to keep edging forward episode by episode. And don't forget to share it with your family and friends. And of course, comment below with any guest recommendations or questions you may have. With that said, I will see you on our next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.